What's up, guys? It's me, Mr. P, and today my partner Gordon the Claffball and I are going to be ranking every Fortnite live event. Anything to say, Gordon? Alright, let's get into it. Starting up first, the OG Chapter 1 Rocket event. Now, this was the first event that Fortnite ever did, so no one was really expecting anything crazy. And, you know, that's what we got, nothing crazy. The rocket went up in the sky, almost destroyed Tilted, and just made a couple of rifts. You know, it was the first event ever, not a lot of expectations, nothing too crazy, especially on today's expectations. So yeah, pretty mid.
Yeah, it was mid, but at the time it was cool. But I remember when you could still kill people during that event. So that was a big mistake they did, because people were just griefing each other. But it was okay.
I think we put it C tier.
Yeah, I see.
Next up, we have the Kevin the Cube Island event. This was a really cool event, especially compared to the previous one. This is coming off of Kevin the Cube spawning in Paradise Palms and then making his way around to the island, and then the event took place after he got sucked up into the island above Loot Lake. And then the butterfly came and Loot Lake got a major update, and this is the first time we saw the Rift butterfly. So it was a major step up. Still, to today's standards, it's something too crazy, but it was a great improvement from the previous one.
This event was really like a real step up. I remember watching it. It was really fun. Everyone was hyped that Kevin came back, and it was a good event. And after it, the island on top was peak. It was a great place, and just a good event, good visuals.
I think we put it C tier, but higher than the Rocket event.
Yeah, like C+.
Yeah. Next up is the Ice King event, and even though this is still one of the earlier events, this was really disappointing, honestly, because all Ice King did was float on top of the island and make it covered in snow. So it wasn't really that impressive, and it did bring some cool map changes, but in terms of an event, it wasn't that impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't that impressive, even for back then, yeah. The only thing that they made different was the zombies came back for a little bit when he did that, but I would say not F.
Yeah, I would agree. Next, we have the Marshmallow Concert. This was Fortnite's first ever concert, and players are really excited for this. Marshmallow took over Pleasant Park, and all the players got to vibe out and listen to some Marshmallow music. This was the first Fortnite concert, and today's standards, this would not hold up at all. But for the time that it happened in, it was really cool and really unique, and no game had ever done something like this.
Yeah, that's true. Marshmallow collab. One of our first icon skins, too. It was just a great collab back in this time. But it's not like that impressive now.
Yeah, I would put it B tier, I think.
Yeah, B-.
Next, we have the Unvaulting event. Now, this event was really cool because it was very community driven. Obviously, the community chose to unvault the drum gun. We also got sucked into the void, and they teased us with Singularity's helmet, which was teasing a future live event. And we got to see the 0 point in its full glory for the first time, and this obviously led to the unvaulting of the drum gun. And then, once you came out of that area, the volcano erupted and destroyed Tilted and revealed the polar peak monster, so a major step up from all the previous events.
Yeah, it was good. The only problem was everyone voted the drum gun. I did tag SMG because I'm a G. Everybody else was weird, but it was good.
Yeah, I say high B tier.
Yeah, you could do A, but not really.
I think high B tier is more fitting. Next, we have the Mech vs. Monster event, and this event was absolutely insane. This event still holds up till today, and it was action-packed and just so much fun to watch. The Monster and Mech had a crazy battle that was teased all season long. And in the end, the mech stabbed the monster in the eye and then launched off into space. It was really cool, really fun. The music was amazing. The scale of the event was really cool to see with these two giant monsters on the island.
Yeah, it was a really crazy step up. The monsters were fun, but of course the mech has to cheat and pull a big sword, and yeah, just...
I would say A tier. S tier, you know, I would agree with that. Okay, I can live with that. Next, we have the Black Hole event. Now, this event was monumental because the entire island got sucked up into a black hole. It was so cinematic. This is the first time they saw the 7 in their rockets, and they led the meteor into the 0 point, and the entire island exploded, and then Fortnite was offline for about 3 days, and kids were losing their minds. People were panicking, thinking everything was gone. And this event just had so much talk and momentum around it, and it was really controversial actually, but it had a big conversation about it in the entire gaming community as a whole.
Yeah. I agree everything. It's still funny to this day seeing kids rage about it. There's kids breaking their TV and everything. I say that.
Yeah, I think it's S. I would agree.
About it. And that transition to chapter 2 was crazy.
From the black hole into the trailer, yeah. Next we have the Star Wars live event. And now, in my opinion, this shouldn't even be counted as a live event because this was just horrendous. All they did was tease the new Star Wars movie, and although they did reveal lightsabers, it was really just the director of the Star Wars movie talking to us for like 10-15 minutes, and it was really boring, not that interesting at all, especially if you weren't a Star Wars fan. So yeah, not much to say about it at all.
Oh, like what is this? Like what was that? Like that was terrible. I just like nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing at all. I think this is an easy F tier. Might need to make an own tier for this, but like it's not possible. Next up, we have one of the most iconic events of all time, the Travis Scott event. Now, this was our second concert, and it was a massive step up from the Marshmello concert. Travis Scott brought Astroworld to the island, and he became a giant, and he played some of his most iconic songs, and everyone just enjoyed it and had a good time. It still holds up to today, and it's by far the best concert that Fortnite has ever done.
Yeah, this was crazy. It was great, like the way he came down, all the music they played some banger songs on there. This is just you can't disagree.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. Next up, we have the Device event. Now, this event was Midas's plan unfolding, trying to destroy the storm. It obviously didn't end so well, and instead he created a massive flood. And we also got teleported into John Jones's office, and this was our first introduction to the character of Agent Jones. And without this event, I have no idea where the Fortnite story would be because this had massive implications on the story, and this is how we got one of our most iconic characters in Agent Jones. And it was a pretty cool event. Could have been better, but it was not a bad event by any means.
This event was actually really crazy in my opinion. I like the lead up to it. I like what happened to the agency.
Sorry to interrupt, but this event also showed that Midas switched from Team Ghost to Team Shadow in the event, and it had a lot of the community shocked because Ghost and Shadow was a big topic of that season, and it was a really big key role to the storyline, actually. But continue, Gordon.
Yep, that was so much fun, though. I remember waking up the next day after and just having so much fun in the big tsunami. People were skybasing on top of it because there was a glitch of it. It was a really fun zone. And I could say A+, or
I think this goes A. Next, we have the Galactus event. Now, this is our first ever Marvel event, and throughout the whole Marvel season, Galactus was slowly getting closer to the island until eventually he arrived here to destroy the Zero Point. Characters like Iron Man, Thor, and Wolverine all helped us, and we fed Galactus a bunch of battle buses filled with bombs in him, and then he exploded back to his reality. This event was pretty cool. We got to see a lot of iconic Marvel characters, but I still don't think it's in one of the top events that we have in S tier.
This event had so much potential. It was leaked for so long, and then it was just like, for me, underwhelming. We couldn't do a lot of stuff. It was more cutscenes than actually playing. So that was a big problem.
I think we have to put this in A tier just because this is the most played event of all time. Next up, we have the Fortnite Wilds event. Although this season was pretty bad, the event wasn't too bad itself. We got introduced into this event, thrown in straight from a trailer, and we got to meet the Foundation for the very first time, the leader of the Seven. And this event actually had a lot of storyline details talking about Geno and the Imagine and the Order. And we got to go around the island. It teased all the new locations coming in Season 6. And the Foundation ended the event by sealing himself in the Zero Point and making it into the Spire to protect the Zero Point.
I do remember the trailer. It was pretty good. I really run through the Zero Point, buying stuff, doing like every level event. But we did meet the Foundation at that event. That's pretty cool. 7. It was okay all around. I wouldn't say it was that good.
I think low B tier is a good area for it.
Low B, yeah.
Next, we have the Ariana Grande Rift Tour. Now, on the surface, this looks like just another concert, but it was actually more important because this concert was connected to the storyline because the aliens use this concert to look into the Looper's memories and see all the previous events from Chapter 1. And that little storyline detail made this event just a little bit more interesting. And the concert itself wasn't too bad, but me personally, I'm not the biggest Ariana Grande fan, so it doesn't hold a crazy spot in my heart. I think it's like mid-C tier.
Yeah.
I think it's C because the concert wasn't too bad and the story implications were pretty good. Next, we have the Mothership event. Now, the first thing I gotta say is, clicks, touch the cube if you like kids. Anyways, this event was really cool because the whole season the Mothership was sucking up POIs, and then they eventually sucked up Ayo. And then the Mothership sucked Corny Complex, but underneath it had a bunch of bombs. And we were working with the Imagine Order and Dr. Sloan to destroy this Mothership. But once we got on the Mothership, it was discovered that there was a whole army of cubes. So Dr. Sloan and the Imagine Order betrayed us and left us on that ship to die. And eventually the Mothership exploded. And from what it looked like in the event, it destroyed half the map. But loading into Season 8, most POIs were still untouched. So the event itself wasn't too bad, but the aftermath of the event could have been a lot better. But I still think it's a great event and one of the most memorable ones, especially with the Mothership falling on us to close out the event.
That was so fun. Yeah, the whole thing exploded.
Nothing happened at all. The map was not touched. You know, I think I put it A just because even though the aftermath of the event wasn't too good, I think the event itself is still pretty cool. And it lasted a good 10-15 minutes and it was a lot of running around and gameplay and not actual cutscenes and stuff. So I think A. I honestly think it's better than the Galactus event, in my opinion. Next, we have my favorite event of all time, the Chapter 3 introduction event. Now, this was the culminating event of the storyline between the Imagine Order, the Seven, and the Last Reality. The Cube Queen and her army were trying to take over the island. Meanwhile, underneath us, the Imagine Order was interrogating Agent Jones. And this is when it was finally revealed that the Foundation is actually Dwayne Johnson. And this had everyone going bananas, bro. Absolutely insane reaction. And although we couldn't save the island, the Seven did manage to take it to the other side when the island flipped. And we were introduced to one of the most beautiful maps ever in Chapter 3. And the ending of this event of us in the ocean watching the island flip while the sun rises was just beautiful. And then the Cube Queen dies, and it was just a beautiful event, in my opinion, and my favorite event of all time.
I would say favorite of all time. Favorite of all time is kind of crazy, but it was a good event. It was really cinematic in the end.
Yeah, really, it was really cinematic. I think I have to put this in S tier. I think I have to. It was a beautiful event, phenomenal. I gotta put it S. You're not gonna tell me otherwise.
Chapter 3 Season 2, one of the most underrated seasons of all time. Everything was so stacked. That came they thought Sloan, we thought Sloan died, but she's somehow alive. But it was good. It was really good in my opinion. I liked all the cutscenes were good. I liked we had like power and mech kind of. It was fun.
Yeah, this was also our reintroduction to the character of the Paradigm, who has been hinted at throughout the comics at that point, and then did the story quest. And then also Peely came and saved us with the slurp truck, and that was a really funny moment. And also, the Collider was a pretty cool location to fight at. And we got to see the teaser of Dark Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting. And then we also saw our first official look of Geno in-game. And then the Foundation and Agent Jones jumped into the 0 point. Pretty solid event. I would put it high B tier, low A tier. A? All right. Next up, we have Fractured. And this was the event to end Chapter 3 and lead us into Chapter 4. Now, this event could have been one of the coolest ever. We could have fought the Herald and Chrome, but instead we got a 20-second cutscene of the Herald chroming the island, and then her own powers made her explode, and then we sat around for another 45 minutes doing freaking creative quests, watching a random island get built that wasn't even the actual Chapter 4 island. So literally we built the island and we never saw it again, and I had no meeting. And it was just us sitting for 45 minutes doing some useless quests, and it was absolutely horrible.
I remember being so confused. I remember jumping into 0 point in the middle. This was terrible. This whole thing was badly executed.
I put E because, one, it was really hyped up to jump into Chapter 4 the next day. So, I mean, even though the event was pretty bad, I was still excited throughout the event. So that brings it up a little. And obviously nothing can be as bad as the Star Wars event. So it doesn't deserve to be an F with the Star Wars event. In the end, during OG, we had the Big Bang. Now, unfortunately, the Big Bang was just a rehash of the Chapter 1 Season X event, but this time it included basically advertisements for rocket racing, the Lego mode, and the festival mode. Now, I do think it was cool that we got to relive the end event, and it had a little bit different music, and the meteor changed into like the Durburger and the Nutcracker. And I do think it was pretty cool to jump into early views of the new game modes, but I still think it was underwhelming, and it felt like a really big advertisement for when Fortnite started doing this metaverse area, and which obviously it hasn't panned out the way they wanted to, considering they've closed down rocket racing. So they took a lot of focus away from the battle royale story and focused it on advertising new game modes. So that brings it down a little for me.
I played the event. I don't know what's happening. It's just the same thing, but I guess like cooler like graphics, some stuff. Yeah.
I think I gotta put it. I don't think it's F. I think it's D tier. D.
I think it's
D. Yeah. Next we have the Doctor Doom live event, and me personally, I'm a big Marvel fan, and this event was really underwhelming. All that Doctor Doom did was turn big, and then it was another 45 minutes of us shooting at a big Doctor Doom until his mask came off, and then he was never to be seen again. So this main guy who was looming as a threat for half the season got killed off halfway through the season to make room for the Fortnite event, and then he was never to be seen again. And his boss power-up in-game was harder to kill than the one in the actual live event, and this was just really underwhelming, especially as a Marvel fan.
This just started like giving up on Fortnite. I don't really play this a lot, but I just remember watching Nick A30 stream. It was just bad. It was just mid. I didn't like it at all, to be honest. It just looked terrible. It looked too long. It looked like rushed. It looked really rushed. She was like, oh, let's make
I think we put it in E tier because it's still not as bad as the Star Wars live event, but it's still pretty bad. Next, we might have the worst event of all time. Next up, we might have the actual worst live event of all time. That being the Restored Reels Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice event. And this event was literally just us watching Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice perform in New York. And it was pretty horrible. It was just us watching our own screens in game looking at another screen. So, I mean, we got to do nothing. There was no cinematic. There was no gameplay. It was just us staring at in performance in real life. And it was just pretty lame. The only good thing to come out of this was the trailer for Chapter 2 Remix after this. But, I mean, aside from that, nothing good about it at all.
So, I'm just like hearing about this. I didn't know about this, but this reminds me of the Wreck-It Ralph event.
This is F tier. Next up, we have the Juice WRLD event, RIP. And this event was actually pretty cool in my opinion. We had multiple concerts in one event. So we had Eminem performing, Snoop Dogg performing, Ice Spice. It was pretty cool actually. Not as good as the Travis Scott concert, but the fact that we had multiple concerts in one event was pretty cool. And the budget for this event seemed pretty high because the graphics were pretty cool and it was just really neat in total. And at the end of the event, we got a tease at the Chapter 6 island and we saw the Zero Shard floating towards the island and we got a big glimpse of the island as a whole.
Spice shaking her butt.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, that was pretty cool. I watched the Juice WRLD, Ice Spice. Nah, not really. But it was pretty cool. Like DC.
I think we put it C. Next, we have the Galactic Battle Live event. Now, even though the Star Wars season was pretty bad, this event was actually pretty cool. We infiltrated the Death Star and we disguised ourselves as stormtroopers, and then we basically blew up the Death Star. And it lasted about 10 minutes. It had us killing stormtroopers on board and killing Emperor Palpatine. And then in the end, the Death Star exploded and it destroyed the Spirit Realm portal. And that eventually gave us powers, which led into the next superhero season. So storyline wise, pretty good. The gameplay could have been a little bit more entertaining and interactive, but it was pretty basic and nothing to complain about really. But yeah, I think it goes high C tier. I think it's better than the Cube one. Next, we have the Superhero Live event. Now, this could have been really good. Cool superheroes, cool powers. But instead, they decided to make a tentacle wave its little hand from outside a portal. And then instead of actually animating a live event, they put comic panels. Comic panels, not even animation. And then Superman cut the tentacle off in 2 seconds with the laser eyes. And then the end. So pretty lame in my opinion. Not good. I would put this E tier, I think.
E? Yeah, I mean, it is like a little bit better.
Yeah, it's better than Star Wars and the Snoop Dogg one. So this is the Daft Punk experience, and I'm just gonna skip. This is an F because like I don't care about Daft Punk. Actually, I can't disrespect Daft Punk that much. I'll put it in E. but
No,
I just don't really. Next up, we have the Simpsons live event. This live event could have been a lot better, and it was teased to be a lot better. But in the end, it was basically us seeing the Dark Presence for the first time, and then it went into a massive cutscene of our characters being teleported into the Simpsons world, and then we got introduced to the island. And I think the fact that it introduced us to the island and that it was in the Simpsons art style made it a lot better, but the event itself wasn't too crazy.
I don't know anything about this event. It was just Simpsons, cool, E tier.
I think we put D. I think D. I think high, above the Big Bang though. Next, we have the Chapter 6 end event. And this event was really cool actually, because Homer Simpson joined us, King Kong, Godzilla, the Avengers, even the freaking K-pop Demon Hunters, guys. That I mean, this is basically Fortnite's version of Avengers Endgame. Literally every collab they've ever done basically was in here to destroy the Dark Presence, and it was really cinematic, really fun. And even though the event itself was a pretty basic line to follow of a whole bunch of heroes joining together to fight the Dark Presence, it was still really entertaining to see all these characters from Fortnite's collaborations join us and destroy the Dark Presence. So I think it was pretty cool actually.
Yeah, it was really fun. I liked it a lot. Anything during the event, even though he was giant, he was just finding tentacles, eating donuts, and throwing rocks. It was funny to see. It was a good event, cinematic.
I think we have to put an S tier just because of how monumental it was. We had all these collaborations in one spot. No game has ever been able to do this, and I honestly don't think a game will ever be able to do this. So I think just for that achievement right there, we have to put it in S tier. And finally, we have the Shatter live event, our most recent one. This event did something that no event has ever done, and it split the player base up into two sides based on if you chose Team Foundation or Team Ice King, and that slightly altered your event, and you started in different areas and you aligned with different teams. So if you aligned with Team Ice King, you were on his side helping him out to destroy the Team Foundation players and Foundation himself. This is pretty cool because we got to see the two sides battle it out. And then in the end, it was revealed that Dark Voyager was a traitor, and he actually slimed out my boy Ice King. But not only that, it was revealed that the visitor from Reality Unknown was Geno all along, and he was Dark Voyager's master. And then rest in peace. Actually, no, not rest in peace. Agent Jones is in coma, but Geno cannot get away with slamming our boy out like that. Like, that boy's been with us since Chapter 2. Yeah, no one knows. And it's criminal what he's doing. He's a coward hiding among the good guys. Also, not to mention, we got to slice the Dark Voyager ship in half with the Infinity Blade, and we got a whole new island from this event.
Yeah, it was very... I remember who's ever side you're on was who was winning that one fight scene. For Ice people, Ice King was winning. For Foundation people, the Foundation was winning. It made no sense. It was just weird. But Foundation's probably still alive, he's just frozen, and the Ice King is dead, so Foundation really won my eyes.
Yeah, we got the style, so take the L.
Okay. Screw that, we have to make a 30-0 team.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Oh, do you discuss?
Yeah, I am family friendly. I'm on Nick A30, buddy. Yeah, I think high A tier. I think it's the best event in A tier.
I like the season a lot, and I like how they made a whole new map.
Yeah, really creative, especially for mid chapter. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also come tune in to me and Gordon's Twitch streams. We hope to see you all there. Everyone have an awesome day. Peace out.